Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and today's video is actually going to be a learning experience for not only you guys, but for me as well. So recently, we had a client that had contacted us, just like any other client that was looking for, guidance on her business phone, on business communications or the right business phone system for her organization. And after we had kind of matched them up in that regard, she asked me, she said, "Hey, myself and my brother-in-law, who's going to be working within the firm, we both have some hearing impairments." She said, "Mine is your typical hearing impairment." She said, "But my brother has a pretty severe one." And she said, "And the problem that we've always had is that we can never find a headset for voice over IP or for virtual meetings or for just talking on the telephone, that actually gives us the level of sound, output or audibility that we actually need to be able to effectively use it with our hearing impairment." And she asked me, she said, "I've seen your videos where you've done reviews on different headsets for voice over IP and phone systems. Do you know of anything that is specialized for the hearing impaired or that works with a hearing aid?" And I told her, I said, I've never actually been asked this question before. And I was honest with her. I told her, I said, "I honestly don't know, but you've kind of encouraged me to do a little bit of research, not only for my own information, but to be able to help people like yourself and others that could use solutions that work for the hearing impaired." So I did a little digging, did a little research, called up my buddies over at VOIP Supply, who, for those of you who may not know, they're the ones that send us a lot of the different things, usually IP phones that you see us do reviews on. Um, and a good friend of mine over there, Mary, said, "Actually, you know what? I know just the thing." Um, she sent me over some stuff, but we're going to get into that in a minute. It's actually sitting next to me. But first, before we get into that and I show you guys what we found out, and what we're going to review in a future video, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what I learned, and we're going to learn this together. So I wondered, okay, how does this verse work? So here's the first thing that I found. Let's see here, because I got a bunch of links open that we're gonna look at here. First thing I found, I'm going to read it out loud. It says, "When using headphones with these hearing devices, hearing aids is what it's talking about, choose a model which fits completely over the hearing aid's microphone, which is located outside the ear canal and behind the ear. If it doesn't fit completely over the hearing aid, the hearing aid will pick up external sound instead of what is coming from the headphone." So the first thing I learned is that it sounds like, first of all, you've got to have a headset that cups the ears per se, or completely closes off the ear canal, which obviously contains the hearing aid, so that the only thing that the hearing aid is picking up is what's coming out of the headphones, and there's no distortion from external sound. So let's move on. The question then became, that I wondered, was how does it do that? Hence the title of this video. Telecoil compatible headsets are your best bet. Virtually every hearing aid these days is equipped with a telecoil, a tiny wire inside that can convert electromagnetic signals into sounds. The telecoil can be used in any place with a so-called hearing loop. Dug a little deeper, said, okay, now we know that hearing aids have a thing inside of it called a telecoil. The question now becomes, what makes a hearing aid compatible or hearing aid friendly headset, unlike the one that I'm wearing? This is a great headset, from Leitner Headsets.com, folks, but it's not a hearing aid compatible headset. So the question that I then wondered was, okay, so now we know that a hearing aid, most of them universally have a thing called a telecoil in it. How do you find a headset that actually interacts with this telecoil correctly? And here's what I found. I found out about something called an inductive coupler. Let's read further. A telecoil is a small part of a hearing aid, as we already learned, that picks up magnetic signals from a hearing loop and converts the signals back into sound. This process doesn't amplify the background noise, so you'll get a clearer sound with less interference. A hearing loop in a phone is often called an inductive coupler. So, my buddy over at VoIP Supply, Mary Cheney, the director of marketing, sent me a couple of headsets. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is actually a JPL, and it actually says, let's see if I can get that up there for you guys to see this, if it'll focus in for me here. Come on, baby. Doesn't seem like it wants to focus in. There we go. This has an inductive coupler, and it is a hearing aid compatible headset from JPL. I'll hold that there so you guys can read that well. And this is a JPL HAC-1. She sent me over a JPL HAC-1 and a -2. From what I understand, the model -1, which you are looking at here, let me move myself over. The model JPL HAC-1, I believe it means because it's got one headset there, as you can see. So you could, if you just want a one ear for somebody who's got a hearing aid, you would obviously put that earphone that's got the pad on it, you'd obviously put that over the ear that has the hearing aid. And then some people like me, even though I'm not hearing impaired, I don't wear a hearing aid, I prefer dual earphone headset, kind of like what you guys see I've got on now. She also sent me a JPL model number HAC-2, which is basically identical to this with the inductive coupler and everything in there that would work with the hearing aid's universal telecoil, but it's got two ear pads for people that are more comfortable with two ear pads, and obviously one of them would have the inductive coupler to interact with the telecoil and the hearing aid. One other thing I wanted to point out really quick before we talk a little bit more about this and then close this video is I was just floating around and I saw here, this was on Polycom's website because Polycom's got headsets. Tons of guys out there got headsets. Polycom, Jabra, JPL. I'm sure many other brands out there have headsets like ones like Plantronics and you name it. The list goes on and on. But I saw something here that said every headset mentioned in this document passes U.S. hearing aid compatibility requirements. So that made me wonder. It sounds like, and there's even a link here that says hearing aid compatible headsets. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that would say requirements, but it sounds like there's some government regulations or some mandates put into place to where if you're creating a headset that is designed for persons with hearing aids, you have to actually adhere to certain regulations and certain technical speculations or requirements that they probably inspect in your model before you can mass produce it or manufacture it, which I thought was kind of cool. But so that kind of concludes this video, which I wanted to call "How Do Voice over IP Headsets for the Hearing Impaired Work?" Because this was a question that I got asked from a woman, and I wouldn't say she was embarrassed to ask the question, but she didn't seem very hopeful, when she asked me about it. And she knows that I'm kind of a big influencer on YouTube that dabbles in all of this stuff with hundreds and hundreds of companies all across the United States and even, in some foreign countries. When I told her that I didn't know anything about this, she seemed really discouraged, like, oh, great. Well, if this guy doesn't know anything about it, I'm not going to find anything. So I felt compelled to not only help her, but to help others out there that are also trying to figure out how to find the technology that they need to communicate with their phone systems that, suffer or deal with these types of impairments. I felt compelled to do a little bit of research. And I thought maybe a lot of people out there would really be relieved to see that there's something out there. I was shocked to find that there's a lot more than just something out there. As I already mentioned, my buddy over at VOIP Supply sent me over compatible. These are headsets specifically designed for the hearing impaired that have the inductive coupler in it that work with the telecoil in somebody's hearing aid device. This is not a small brand. This is JPL. These guys make headsets for, obviously now we know the hearing impaired, but they make headsets for all kinds of other applications as well, shapes, forms, and factors. I was actually shocked to see the price on this. I was expecting it to be really expensive, and for these types of companies to want to take people that need this type of specialty just straight to the bank. These things are like less than $100, you guys. It was like 89 bucks, I think, for each one. I was completely shocked. I mean, when the headset I'm wearing is like $70, and it's nothing as specialized or or specialty as something like this. So I'm going to be doing a future review on both of these headsets for you guys. For those of you who are watching this, that this is something that would really help you out or help out your employees or coworkers that may need something of this type of specificity to I'm going to be doing an in-depth review on both of these, but I'll also leave a link to both of these as well below this video so you guys can go check it out. So again, that wraps up this video. How do voice over IP headsets work for the hearing impaired? If you found this video helpful, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. We upload new videos every single week. Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, your go-to guy for the best deals on business, phone, and internet service in the United States. I'll catch you guys again in the next video.